Alibaba founder Jack Ma's received a rock star's welcome in East Africa. On his first stop in Kenya, he met President Uhuru Kenyatta. He was guest of honour at a big event at the University of Nairobi.
The whole world today is worried. I don't know why. Everybody's worried. The whole world today is puzzled. But Africa, I see people have a passion. People have ideas. People say, this is the future. Because I think we have nothing to lose. Europe has a lot to lose. America has a lot to lose. Those countries worry about losing. But Africa, I don't think you have anything to lose. China is the kitchen of the world. Very dirty now. The air pollutions. So Africa developed. You don't have to follow the other countries' model. Africa should be Africa. Using the new technology, protect the environment, protect the animals. It's easy to build buildings, but it is difficult to call the animal bags.
Jack Ma speaking to a big audience in Nairobi. Laban heads the business news segments on NTV Kenya, and he was there to watch Jack Ma in action.
The interest was amazing, and especially from the young entrepreneurs. So there's this whole push in Nairobi and larger East Africa towards, having startups and having incubation hubs and really trying to move from ideas into action. That address being the first time in East Africa, so that was a great opportunity, and that's why we even saw some people actually could not even sit in. The university we had to organize for larger screens outside, of course, for the public viewing and water view.
It was so fascinating. Some of the points that he made. He claimed that, I'm not here to inspire anybody. He clearly does that. But he also talks about the focus on education, on university. And here's an interesting one, the focus on the jobs that machines can't do.
Indeed. What he mentioned particularly was on just looking at how the future of jobs will be. We have to really think ahead, especially looking at the future, then preparing for it. But Jack Ma actually caused, the lecturers and the various deans and dons who were at the University of Nairobi to just tell them that, hey, I think maybe perhaps what we are teaching our kids right now are not really for the future. So think about 10, 20 years, 30 years to come. That was really an inspiration, especially him being in the e-commerce sector, because you're looking at how do you combine, business to technology. And what he's saying that he can actually feel it and he can actually sense it. But he also, just didn't quite raise a red flag and said, hey, this is going to come now and jobs are going to be wiped out immediately. But he says that, our children are the ones who are going to suffer. So I think kind of giving that, buffer and saying, hey, it's not too bad, but we have to prepare for it.
From a Kenyan official perspective, so to speak, we know how much work China has done across Africa beyond Kenya's borders, but it's just done a new railway from Nairobi to Mombasa, big Chinese company. But it's interesting that at that conference, we're hearing a Kenyan view say, don't come and talk to us about ways that China is going to give us more stuff. We don't want Chinese imports. We want Kenyan exports.
So the question has been, is this influence two-way? Because according to this McKinsey report, the Dance of Lions and Dragons, what they say that is, Africa should also step up and actually tell the Chinese that this is exactly how we want, to work, or these are some of the projects that we want you to influence, and not really necessarily the other way, where China's influence will only be one directional for that matter. So basically, governments have targets, but are the Chinese assisting governments meeting their targets, or are just governments baseless on what exactly they want and they're just open to receiving help?
Thanks to Laban at NTV Kenya.